Welcome into a special edition episode of Mood Swings with Liv Moods, and in a moment joined by Mark Robinson for a post-game live reaction show. We've got the game going live in front of us. It appears the Denver Nuggets season is coming to an end. We have a lot to say, a lot of emotions, a lot of things happening. We're going to get into all of it in just a moment. As always, this show is presented by Landmark Lincoln. Shout out to our friends over at Landmark Lincoln. Make sure you head to their location off of Bellevue and Broadway to figure out why they have been the #1 Lincoln dealer in Colorado for as long as they have. I say it every show. I'm going to say it again. I am the proud new owner of a 2025 Lincoln Nautilus and could not love my car more. If you need a new vehicle, if you know someone who needs a new vehicle, make sure you head to Landmark Lincoln and potentially join me in joining the Landmark Lincoln family. Okay, enough about vehicles. Let's get into the show. Well, as you guys can see, I am sitting crisscross applesauce because I simply don't care. Am I barefoot? Of course. Yes, I am. Do I care about my appearance? No. Is there any bit of feeling that I have outside of just what the hell? What the hell was that game? What the hell was this series? Let me start off at the top, Mark, here before I let you have the floor here. I just want to say this much. I love this team more than anything. I love the Denver Nuggets more than anything. I'm a born and raised fan. But where I think we went wrong is constantly being be positive. It's okay. Nothing to worry about. We're fine. The problems that we saw in this elimination game are the exact reason that the season is ending. And those exact problems were problems we have had all season long. And the moment I put on my critical hat and I wanted to call out these problems during the regular season, I was called a bad fan. I wasn't supposed to be negative. I was supposed to maintain positivity at all times. And here we are in a situation where every problem we saw in the regular season was the reason that we lost in this series. I cannot sugarcoat this, and I have to just say it like it is. Here's the reality. This is humiliating. To be a first-round exit with a Nikola Jokić on your team, one of the best 1-2 punches in the NBA, the best offense in the NBA in the regular season, is embarrassing enough. But to be a first-round exit to a team that is missing not one, not two, but three of their best guys on this roster. That's how you go out? You go out sad like that? You go out sad and embarrassed like that? And you know what? Call me a hater all you want in the regular season, but I called out issues that needed to be addressed. The media tried to call out issues to Adelman that needed to be addressed, and Adelman always got uptight, and he took it personally, and he got pissed off, and he got offended, and he was weird about it, and he was protective of these people. And it's called enabling, folks. It's called enabling, and the more you do it, the trickier this gets, and we are sitting in a position now where we have lost. We've lost in an elimination spot, folks. The season is over, and Mark and I were talking ahead of the show. Not just is the season over, but it kind of feels like maybe is a window closed here, Mark? Are we looking at a situation where the best of this Denver Nuggets squad, this core group, the AG, the Jamal, the Jokic, have we seen it come to a close? Because it feels like we have. That's the feeling I have right now, is that this was such a missed opportunity. This was such a good roster. This had all the pieces, and we're not going to be able to afford to keep this group together in this offseason. So I do fear that the window is potentially closed. Mark, what say you?
Emotions might be a little heightened for both of us right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Rightfully so.
I think so.
But I completely agree with you. And you know what I think it starts with? I think it starts with a guy like Peyton Watson, who through no fault of his own, he just watched that entire monstrosity, I tell you, unfold from the bench.
Oh, yeah.
He probably doesn't want to be a part of this anymore. He's going to go get his bag, probably on a team in the West that's a contender, and him leaving is going to be just the start of mental morale completely plummeting. We're going to have coaching changes. All of this dynamic is going to change, and I think confidently the window's closed. I think it's because what happens now? Do we go and get a new head coach in the offseason, and do we use whatever cap space we have left without hitting the limit to go try to get some difference makers again, while simultaneously watching guys like Peyton Watson leave, watching guys like Tim Hardaway Jr. leave, watching guys like Christian Brown stick around, who just got paid $125 million to do jack squat in this series.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. It feels like the end of an era.
It certainly does. And here's the bigger issue. Oh God, I'm just like
It's
really
over.
I'm like getting pissed off.
110 to 98.
I want to, yeah,
Nuggets
it's final
eliminated
score.
in
We're done.
6.
We're done. So here's the deal, guys. I want to just, because I'm getting a lot of tweets. I'm already getting a lot of tweets, and rightfully so. You guys know this is my squad. I'm the first to talk trash to opponents or fans or whomever. If you are coming into this show right now because I just reposted it and I said, hey, come chat, and I'm sure all the trolls are like, can't wait to see what Liv Moods is thinking, because I've been tagged in 3 posts now. Someone check on Liv Moods. Where's Liv Moods at? Denver Nuggets dynasty is over at Liv Moods. So I'm already getting some of the reactions here. And I think what people want to hear from me is excuses. You're not going to hear them. You're actually not. You'd actually tune into the show for the first time and you would think I'm not a Denver Nuggets fan, because I'm not happy. I'm actually embarrassed. Yeah, and I'm pissed off. I sure am. Yes, that's what happens. This team, to me, the reason it's so frustrating is because I stood 10 toes down on believing in this team and what they were capable of, not because I'm a fan, but because I looked at what this team had and I felt like they really had the pieces. They were capable of making a deep run. They were capable of a championship. What I want to say to what you were just saying, Mark, when you talk about who we're potentially going to lose, who we're going to lose because we either paid Christian Brown too much, or, we can't really get rid of AG and he's not super available. So best ability is availability. He's not giving you that right now. Whatever the case, whatever offseason moves this front office decides to make, what frustrates me the absolute most is that the guys that are going to have to walk are going to be the guys that do play with heart. And what I felt like this Nuggets team missed the absolute most in this postseason was heart. I'm okay with you having an off night. I'm okay with you missing a free throw here and there. I'm okay with a turnover from time to time. What I can't be okay with, and what I feel like was the main problem in this series, was a lack of urgency. No heart, no hustle, no passion. It's like you were just out there existing, trying to scrape by, putting all your cards, or all your, what's the saying? What in the basket? All your eggs in the Nikola Jokić basket, which normally cards. What's happening? See, I'm so pissed off. I can't even think of my own phrases. What's happening?
We're fired up.
But I am fired up because it's frustrating. I'm even disappointed with Nikola Jokić, to be honest with you. He was very reactive in this series. He was emotional. He was, but also simultaneously, he was reactive about the wrong stuff. Like, he was getting really pissed off and passionate and emotional about things that didn't really matter. And then the stuff that did matter, he didn't really seem to care about. I am okay with people making mistakes. There is no such thing as a perfect athlete. Okay. I want to make that very clear. What I'm not okay with, what I will never be okay with, is athletes that don't look like they care. And to be honest with you, there were a lot of moments watching this Nuggets team in the postseason where it kind of appeared like they didn't care. At
100%.
all. I cared more than they did. And that can't happen.
I think we both did. I want to slightly change the subject. I want to address a comment here. Okay. What dynasty? We have a 3-time MVP on our team. We have the best player in the world on our team. We have one of the best shooters on our team. Jamal Murray just had the season of his life in his NBA career. This is a dynasty team. There are still crucial pieces to this team that were a part of that 2023 team that made a generational run, made Nuggets history, and won the first ever NBA championship. This is a team that is more than capable of going all the way, winning games, beating contenders, getting out of the West, winning an NBA championship. This is a dynasty team. What we're pissed off about is a dynasty team just blew it. No energy. No heart, no care, no physicality. Nobody looked like they wanted to win any of these games. Even game 1, we won, but it was a lackadaisical effort. Game 2, we give up a huge double-digit lead. Games 3 and 4, we completely embarrass ourselves, and then talk about embarrassing. After the only good win of the series to force a game 6, we just lost to no Ant, no DiVincenzo, no Ayo. We just lost to the Timberwolves bench. And you know why we lost, Liv? Because they had heart, they had energy, they cared, and quite frankly,
they played harder.
They deserved to win that series.
Yep.
They 100 100% deserve to walk away with a 6-game series win against the Nuggets, because we put zero effort, zero physicality, zero heart out on the court in that. And that's from a coaching standpoint.
Yeah.
That's from a player
That's
standpoint.
everything.
It's from everything.
Mhm.
And you could make the argument, you could make the excuse, oh, shots weren't falling. This just wasn't our series. It wasn't about that. When you're having an off night in the NBA as a professional athlete, you get up off your ass and you figure it out and you keep moving, and you find other ways to contribute to the game. You find other ways to make an impact for your team, because you're a playoff contender. You're only a few years removed from an NBA championship with the best player in the world on your team. And there was none of that, Liv. Not a single ounce of it.
And I'm re-pissed off now. I'm gonna tell you why. Why, Liv? Why are you re-pissed off? Because my effing team has me now looking like Boo Boo the Fool. I just got retweeted by Freezing Cold Takes, who has over 600,000 followers on Twitter, might I add. Okay, Freezing Cold Takes retweets my post where I said there is a serious chance this Nuggets team can win a championship. Now you got me out here looking stupid. Thanks a lot. So now I'm re-pissed off. I'm reactivated because I did believe in you. I did. Okay, despite the criticism that I threw your way every once in a while, that's what happens. Okay, when you make mistakes, even in wins, I should be able to give you constructive criticism. And because you're a competitor, you take it and you run with it. Okay, now you got me out here looking dumb. And I just got to take it on the chin. I got to get notifications all night long how dumb I look. And it's not even my fault. I knew you were capable of more. You simply didn't show up. You didn't do your job. And now you make me look dumb. Because here's the deal, guys. There was a large mismatch of talent in this series. And it was in favor of Denver when the series started, and especially when they lost two of their most important guys. So to me, why I'm frustrated, why I'm re-pissed off, because now they're embarrassing me and making me look dumb, is because this was simply the result of a lack of effort. They didn't care. They did not care. I cared more than they did. I saw the vision more than Adelman saw the vision. That's a problem. So really what has to happen is this. In the offseason, this front office has some serious decisions to make, and it has to be strategic. We cannot keep coasting by with Jokic will do it all. Jokic is the guy. We have to build everything that we do around Nikola Jokic. It's not working. It hasn't worked since 2023. Let's move on. Okay. The front office has some serious business decisions to make. The best ability is availability. I'm not calling out one player or the other because they've all had their fair share of injuries, but that's where we're at. That's where we're at. There's a culture problem. Every time David Adelman was asked in the regular season, how did we get here, coach? Why is this happening? What do you think about this and this and this? It was always an excuse or a reason, or we're better than this. We know who we are. Just the other day in practice ahead of this game, Adelman is saying in response to one of his post-game pressers where he got awfully sassy, he's being asked another question, and he's like, you guys just want me to dump on my guys and hound on my guys, and I'm just not going to do that. Well, why the hell not? Why the hell are you not going to do that? There's plenty of things that I could find from games 2 through 4 that you could be dumping on them. Really, Adelman? You've got nothing to say? Come on. I'm pretty peeved off at the moment. I'm re-pissed off. How about that? A first round exit? Really? Oh my God. You actually enjoyed making me look stupid, because not only did I say you could go all the way, you couldn't even make it past the first round versus a broken Timberwolves team. Hey, Nuggets fans that were up my butt all season about being critical, what say you? What feedback do you have that's positive right now? Please enlighten me. My God, please, I want to hear it. Because if there is some, let me know so I can take a page out of your playbook and I can try to be Miss Positive over here. But as of right now in this moment, I don't have anything positive to say. That is humiliating. My God. A first-round exit with Nikola Jokic and the best 1-2 punch in Jamal and Jokic, really? I mean, my God, way to go out sad. And they weren't even fully healthy. I get it. We were out AG. We were out PY. But my God, they've been outplayed. You should have wrapped this thing up a long time ago. And you didn't. You got eliminated in the first round. I really, it's just embarrassing. There's nothing that I can say that's like, I don't even have like notes. This is just embarrassing. There's no way around it. It's embarrassing, and I don't even know what to say anymore.
The list of things that I can come up with as far as opportunities that we had to take this series and run with it and snatch mental and physical momentum to get into the next series, which probably for the Wolves is going to be the Spurs. You have a 19-point lead in game 2 with a 1-0 series lead in your building at home, in your home building. You give that up. Next game, you got your 2 best players on the T-Wolves going down, Dante DiVincenzo and Anthony Edwards. They're down. They're done. They're not in the series. Like, I remember sitting in this chair right here, Liv, watching those 2 guys go down. And we talked about this. We never want to see injuries. We never want to see guys get hurt. I remember sitting right here. Oh, well, gee, we just kind of got bailed out because their 2 best players just went down. And we now probably get to coast our way to a 5-6 game series win.
It's, guys, this just in, breaking news, SOS. I mean, send help, okay? What are we supposed to do? SOS, send help. What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to say? It's very simple. The Denver Nuggets just got eliminated in the first round in 6 games without Anthony Edwards. We're not dreaming. Pinch me. I wish I was asleep. This is real life, guys. Oh my gosh. You guys see this smile? You know what sits right behind this smile? A crash out. It's true. I am so close to a really slight manic episode right here on this live, because what the hell do you mean we got eliminated in the first round in 6 games without Anthony Edwards? I beg your finest pardon. I beg your finest pardon. Really? Really? You got me getting retweeted by freezing cold takes on a Thursday evening. Do you hate me or something? I mean, seriously, I went out there. I went out there and I said, this team has a serious chance of winning a championship. And I meant it. I said it with my chest. I don't just say things to say them. This is the type of roster that could have won a championship. The only thing that was missing was passion, heart, urgency, effort. That's the worst part about this. There was a mismatch in talent in favor of Denver. The only difference is you got outplayed because they acted like they cared more. How embarrassing is that? You did not play like you cared. Oh, I can't, by the way, I can't defend that. You're not going to get a defense out of me. I know everybody out there reaches out to me from time to time. Liv, you got to keep it positive. Wrong. No, I don't. No, I don't. I actually don't have to keep it positive. I cover this team. If this team gives me positive things to talk about, I'll talk about it. But if they don't, then they don't. And right now, I'm not feeling too positive because this is really, really embarrassing. And now this front office has to sit and make some really serious business decisions that are going to start breaking up a group that we thought would play together forever. And I don't think we're going to be able to do that anymore because this is bad. We have to enter damage control. What does this say? Liv, what are you feeling? Or what you are feeling is exactly what I'm feeling right now. That gives me a bit of comfort. Wow. I have no one to vent to, though, just y'all. Well, stick around. We're going to do it here tonight, you guys, because this does suck, doesn't it? It just sucks. And I'm just going to be honest with you. It is hard to do this job and to be. You have to understand, like, I'm also friends with people that are close to the guys and are even related to the guys. It's hard for me to be critical of them. But at the end of the day, I'm also doing my job. I can't sit here and pretend like what just happened is okay. There's no defense for it. You look at these 2 teams on paper with a healthy Anthony Edwards, DiVincenzo, and DeSunmo. You look at all of that. You put those back in the mix, and I still feel like Denver had the edge. Denver still had the advantage. Hell, they had home court advantage. Okay, this is the 3rd best team in the Western Conference. So even putting the injured players back in the mix, Denver still, in my opinion, was the better team. Then you removed those guys, and you still got eliminated in the first round. I mean, and I might have to watch Tim Hardaway and Peyton Watson walk and not be Denver Nuggets anymore because we distributed our money to people that decided to do a little bit of nothing in the postseason. I mean, goodness, it doesn't feel good to me, Mark. To be honest, it's going to keep me up tonight. Yeah, I'm not feeling super, super high on this Whatever offseason this Denver Nuggets team is going to have, I think it's going to shake things up a little bit. It's going to be uncomfortable, but we don't have another choice. Building around Nikola Jokić, so they say, but making Nikola Jokić the centerpiece for everything that we do is clearly not working. And frankly, it hasn't worked since 2023. So it's time for a new system. It's time for a new coach, and it's time for some new pieces, I'm afraid. Yep, it is. It's time. Let's move on.
Completely agree. You talk about the passion, the energy, the want to win. That was what was so absent. And I think another prevalent issue with this team in this series was you're looking at the number one offense in the NBA, the number one offensive production throughout the 82 game regular season. We had defensive struggles all season long. And quite frankly, I wouldn't even pin a lot of this on our defense. Our defense was pretty lackluster, but there were times throughout the series where we were putting up really strong defense against big players like Rudy Gobert, against people that are shifty, can move around and transition really well, get to the lane, get to the paint, put up buckets. That wasn't a huge problem for me, but I think that when you talk about the passion, the energy, and how it wasn't there, I think that directly correlates with shots weren't falling. I did some stat digging today.
Oh God, and I even want to know?
And I want to talk. I thought this was interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Games 1, 2, 3, and 4. We won game 1 by the skin of our teeth, in my opinion. And then we got embarrassed in 2, 3, and 4. All 4 of those games, the Wolves comfortably led in points in the paint. 54 to the Nuggets, 42 in game 1. 52 to the Nuggets, 40 in game 2. 68 to the Nuggets, 34 in game 3. And then in game 4, 54 to the Nuggets, 42. We led in paint points in game 5 when we won, but then tonight, unfortunately, same exact story, same exact situation. 64 points in the paint for the Wolves, 40 for the Nuggets. And I think that translates with the fact that there was intensity and effort, and there was a willingness and a want to get down low, get buckets up, get rebounds, get second chance opportunities. And the Nuggets had none of that. Zilch, zero, none, nada.
Yeah, none. And by the way, there was another moment too where
I got some crazy something to say too. I got a
no,
quote
keep
from
going.
Jokić.
Oh, Jokić gave a quote. Okay, let's get a one shot on Mark. Let's get a one shot on Mark so he can give us this quote. What's it to you, huh? What's Jokić got to say?
If this situation, I'm trying to think of the right way to word this. If David Adelman was a coach in Serbia, coaching for a Serbian basketball team, he'd be fired on the spot. That's what Jokić just said to the media. If this was in Serbia, coach would be fired.
What?
Finally, somebody speaks up and speaks their mind. No more of this. Oh, we don't want to blame the team. We're putting out good effort.
You know what? You know what, Mark? Actually, though, hold on, because I agree with Jokic's sentiment. For Jokić to sit and say, if this were a Serbian team, Adelman would be gone. I absolutely agree. But you know what, though? I kind of don't really like that by him, because let's call it what it is, guys. If Jokić would have so much as said, Kroenkes, I want him gone, what do you think would have happened, Mark? What do you think would have happened if Jokić snapped his fingers and said, I don't want this coach. I don't like this coach. I want this coach gone. This coach is not helping us win. I want him out of here. The Kroenkes would not have hesitated, not even for a second. They would have gotten Adelman out of there so fast. So what I don't necessarily love about Jokić having this firm stance now is it's like, number one, Jokić, you didn't have your best performance in this series, okay? You felt very off. You were very reactive. You didn't look like you were all there, okay? And trust me, I'm with you. I think Adelman is part of this problem, but I also don't love that he's saying that now. Like, now you're standing 10 toes down on business to kind of like deflect and push it all onto Adelman now that you're a first-round exit, when in reality, if Jokić would have said a long time ago, when everyone else was saying, I don't know if Adelman is fit to do this, we could have gotten him a new coach. I mean, I don't know, 3 weeks ago, Mark, yesterday even. If Jokić said jump, they'd say how high. So I don't love that now. Now, all of a sudden, Jokić is standing 10 toes down on business and is like, yeah, Adelman would have been gone a long time ago. It's like, well, then make it happen. Because, by the way, you have a lot of power here in the city of Denver. I mean, my gosh, like really, I think that if Jokic wanted Adelman gone a long time ago, it would have happened. So as much as I'm a little shell-shocked by that quote, mostly because I wasn't ever getting the idea or the impression that Jokic wasn't vibing with Adelman, but maybe that's my problem. Jokic, you're a leader. If you didn't feel like he was fit to lead this team to a championship, you should have spoke up a long time ago. Is that fair to say?
I think it 100% is fair to say. Jokic is notorious for sitting in front of the media after his 5-year post-game process, which apparently not tonight. He's notorious for just kind of giving the very cookie cutter basic answers. Oh, you know, we need to do this better. We need to rebound the ball better. Oh, it's not coach's fault, blah, blah, blah. So I'm kind of I'm on the same page as you. I'm torn because part of me is like, finally, somebody's speaking up and speaking their mind and not giving these basic, boring, cookie cutter answers to all the media. But at the same time, you make a phenomenal point, Liv. Why now? Why not after game 3 when the start of this embarrassing sequence happened? Because in my opinion, Liv, Jokic says that, the players hear it, the coaching staff hears it, and something clicks.
Hell, Jokic could have coached them through. He coaches anyway. Shit. How many times have we seen Jokic on the sidelines, on the bench, being animated, coaching, doing that already? So that's my thing is, Jokic, you now saying what we've all been thinking, which is the coach has got to go. It's kind of like, okay, it's too late now. It's already over. Like you declaring that coach should have been gone, or back in your country, he would have been gone already. It's like, well, we're kind of a day late and 6 games short. You know what I mean? It's over with. Okay. We are way past that. The season is done. And to a lot of people, the championship window that was there with this Jokic, AG, Jamal, core group, I think a lot of people are feeling like it's now closed because as a front office, you have to you can't go another postseason with Jokic in his prime and waste it away like this, especially not in the first flipping round. I mean, my God, that simply cannot happen. Time to put a trade package together and move up the draft board. You have to. Unfortunately, I think Peyton Watson is going to be a piece that gets moved. I think his stock is up after this season, and we overpaid Christian Braun. I don't know if you're going to be able to keep Tim Hardaway as much as I would love to. And to be honest with you, I never thought these words would leave my lips. And let me make it clear, I don't want them to. But it would not shock me if there is like an overhaul of figuring out, is there a way to get something for Aaron Gordon?
I mean,
in some capacity. It's just when you're not available, it's hard. What can you do with that? And also, it's not AG's fault. He plays a very aggressive and explosive game. What do you expect? But I don't know if his body's going to get any better than it is right now. And we missed him for 2 playoff games in the first round?
2 or 3.
2 or 3 in 6 games. It's hard. It's a business at the end of the day, right? Like, this is a business. They have to make business decisions. And you need a guy like AG to be healthy and available in order to have a successful deep run. I don't know. I don't know, Mark. I don't know what to do.
We're gonna hear from Nikola Jokic in a second here. He did have another interesting thing to say. He said he said this to the media. He said, I want to be a Nugget for life. I want to play for this team for the rest of my life. But where's the
show me it?
Yeah, exactly.
Damn it! I want to see it. I mean, God, forgive me for shouting, but hello? What? Have you did any part of Jokic's game in this series give I love Denver so much I want to be a Nugget for life? No. Oh my God, no, that makes me sick. Because I know that about him, Mark. Of course he wants to be a Denver Nugget for life, but show me that, damn it. How do we get that out of Jokic, Mark?
I have no idea. I'm at a loss for words.
How do we get that? Because I believe that. I believe he wants to be here. I believe he loves this team. I believe he wants to win another championship here. I believe that he cares. But my gosh, there's certain elements of the game where I'm like, he doesn't I had a moment there where I go, do they know this is an elimination game? Are they aware? Are they aware that the season ends if they lose? It's over. Like, we're done. There's no redo, there's no retry. It is done after this. And it just feels like they played with very little urgency on the matter.
Zero urgency.
We need a defensive-minded coach like yesterday. Like, genuinely, we need it like yesterday. And I think we can all say it, right? The grass is not always greener on the other side of the Mike Malone lawn. Let's be real. Okay, it's true. Okay, I'm saying it. I'm going to put it out there. We're all thinking it. It's true. The grass is not always greener, okay? That being said, I think where the Nuggets did a disservice to this roster was not at all exercising options outside of the current Nuggets staff. They didn't look outside of it at all. That was a problem. That shouldn't have happened, okay? Because I think this team really desperately needed kind of a revamp, especially in the coaching department. You need a defensive-minded coach. You do. I've seen some conversations, and I've had them myself. Steve Kerr having conversations with the Warriors. Is he a guy that parts ways with the Warriors amicably and is still wanting to coach? And he's obviously got a track record of being a very successful coach. Jokic needs a coach that coaches him. Period. Oh my gosh. That actually is the most truthful statement you might hear all night. Jokic needs a coach that will coach him. That was a bar.
That was a bar.
I mean, are we doing slam poetry in here?
Goodness gracious.
Let's get some
Liv.
snaps. Wow.
I know.
Slam freaking poetry.
Jiminy Christmas. End the live
Jokic
right
needs
now.
a coach.
End it on that.
Yeah, literally.
End it on that.
But that is the truth. Like,
Hanging
Jokic,
in the rafters.
No,
That was,
seriously.
I mean, that was
I want
just-
it on a t-shirt. But no, Jokic needs a coach that will coach him because he is a generational unicorn. He is. There's nobody like him. And he is a phenomenal basketball player. But he's also needs to just be a basketball player and not also be a coach while trying to be a basketball player. You need someone that can direct and assert some dominance. And when that coach says jump, everyone says how high. And a coach that focuses on defense and a coach that holds his players accountable, even if that player is none other than Nikola Jokic. Trust me, it's got to be hard to look Nikola Jokic in the eyes and tell him when he's doing something wrong. But he's not perfect. Nope. He's not. So he needs a coach that will tell him that every once in a while. And I just don't know if David Adelman was doing that. I mean, we actually know that was likely not the case because when the media asked, hey, how did you feel about this? Immediately defense, anger, emotions. And he basically admitted, I'm not going to dog on my guys. Well, that's the problem. That's actually the problem. Sassy pants.
It is the problem.
Yeah,
it is. It's just so hard to sit here and think about how this
coulda,
ended
shoulda, woulda
and
been.
just like forming the words for it. I mean, I said this on one of the other lives a few days ago. I think Adelman's basketball mind, I think his understanding, his IQ of the game, his strategic side of coaching, all of that, give it to me. Give me more of it. That's why he was so good as an assistant coach, as a player development coach. The head coach of an NBA team, they can't just have the brains. They've got to have the brawn to go with it. And that's what Michael Malone had. He had a basketball mind. He understood the game. He had a defensive and an offensive mind that helped this team in the past make deep runs in the postseason, beat contenders like the Lakers, like the T-Wolves, and go win a championship. I just don't think Adelman offered that for the Nuggets. I just don't think he did. I don't think that he had the voice, the passion, the power. He obviously gets heated at times. He gets texts. You know, you hear him mic'd up on the bench every once in a while. You hear clips of him in the locker room. But I just don't think, like, I can't help but wonder what Michael Malone would be saying if he was sitting in this exact position right now. I think he would be livid. I think that you'd be seeing steam coming out of both sides of his head because he'd be so pissed off that a team with Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, Spencer Jones, Cam Johnson, great players, got eliminated by the T-Wolves bench in 6 games.
Mark,
6 games.
6. And it's just sickening. But can I actually tell you what's gutting me right now to my absolute core? I could throw up. I could actually puke thinking about this.
Please don't.
I might. No, I'm just kidding. When I think about last season and this season, actually, since the 2023 championship, the Nuggets have done nothing but lose people with heart. Coach Malone had heart. He cared. He was passionate. He wanted to win. You know who else had heart, Mark, that was passionate and wanted to win? Russell Westbrook did. He sure did.
There was a comment.
He sure did. He sure did. Russell Westbrook wanted to win. Russell Westbrook was a winner, and he wanted to win. He had heart, he had passion, he had urgency, he played with effort. He was not perfect, but he was doing the things that the Nuggets are lacking. Coach Malone is another one. Heart, passion, urgency, effort. Tim Hardaway, who we will likely have to watch walk. Heart, effort, urgency, passion. You know who else? Peyton Watson. So what I'm seeing here is there's this really sick pattern in the Mile High City where the players that play the toughest, the hardest, and with the most heart and passion
walk out the door.
We let them walk out the door. OMFG. OMFG. That is, oh my God. Don't even read me a stat from this game. I don't care. I don't care that the Denver Nuggets had one field goal in 7 minutes and 41 seconds. I don't care. What I care about is the emotional aspect of this situation, which is the players that have the most heart either will walk after this season because we cannot afford them, or we've let them walk before. Where the hell is Russell Westbrook? You guys laughed in my face. You said, ha, you must be desperate to want Russell Westbrook. That man played like it was a game 7 elimination game every time he was out there. And what did the Nuggets lack the absolute most this season? Heart, urgency, effort, and passion. I'm sick to my stomach. I cannot handle, I can't justify, I can't excuse. I can excuse a lot. Miss a free throw, have a turnover, miss a wide open 3. Things happen, okay? Things happen. It's basketball. There's no such thing as a perfect athlete. But show up to an elimination game and play like you don't care. Get out of my face. I'm over it. Get out of my face. I have nothing to say to that, Mark. What do you say to that? Thanks for the effort. Here's your participation ribbon.
It's ridiculous.
Happy field day. Great job in kickball. I mean, nice job in the potato sack race. What are we doing? Is this field day? Or is there a championship on the line here?
There's an NBA championship on the line, and there's no heart from the guys that need it the most. One of my biggest notes from
I'm sick.
This whole series was, and this has been an issue, and it's been a talking point with this team in the postseason in the past. You can't rely on your leading cast, which that's one of the reasons why we lost the series was because Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray were not playing like themselves. But what you like in terms of what you're saying, and when I think about now the future and a lot of these guys leaving, walking, the supporting cast in this series, in my opinion, did a great job. Tim Hardaway Jr. had energy, heart. Cam Johnson tonight. Goodness.
I was going to say, get on to Cam Johnson a little bit because that is a positive we can take away from this game. I do want to at least have some sort of positive and let it be Cam. So take it away.
Well, here's
Mark.
what
give us some love.
Here's
for
what
Cam.
I want to say about Cam Johnson. He was struggling more than anyone on this roster during the doldrums of this NBA season. He was dropping 0 bombs. He was having horrible games, just terrible performances. And you know what he did, Liv? He looked everybody in the media right in the eyes and he owned that shit.
Yes, he did.
He owned it like nobody's business.
He played Uno reverse on David Adelman. How about that?
He owned it.
Yeah.
He owned it.
Yeah, that's right.
He said, I'm playing bad basketball and it sucks. It feels terrible. It does not feel good. And you know what he did?
Adelman grabs the mic. He's like, no, you didn't. You played great basketball. Don't say that. I mean, God. Like, we can't be critical anymore. It's true, but you're right. He did own it. He stood there and he said, you know what? I did not play well. I'm finding my rhythm and my groove. And then Mark, to your point, when it mattered the absolute most, guess who rose to the occasion?
Cam freaking Johnson. He had 27 points tonight. He was 5 for 10 shooting the 3, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. It's guys like that who have the heart, have the passion. They have the energy. They want to win. Cam Johnson wants to hoist a Larry O'Brien trophy in June, and he wants to celebrate an NBA championship. Like, you know, I've seen a ton of comments. There's comments rolling in and out of this chat like nobody's business. I can't keep track of all of it. But there's people saying, should have been MPJ. MPJ should have been here. I think MPJ would have contributed a lot to this team, and I think he did have passion and he did have heart. But you know who came into Denver in exchange for MPJ? Cam Johnson. And you know who I was probably most impressed with during this entire 6-game series? Cam Johnson.
That's right.
You could see it in the way that he moved. I'm not even talking about the shots that he made. The way that he rotated, the way that he played defense, the energy that he had, he cared. Along with guys like Spencer Jones, Tim Hardaway Jr., everybody that was coming on and off the bench, Jonas Valanciunas, guys that were getting the opportunity. But in my opinion, when it comes down to it, when your top guys don't give a rat's ass, it's not enough to uplift the whole team. When you have a coach who can't get to the team, and most notably when you have a coach that can't get to the best guys on your team, the energy from the supporting cast is not enough.
Correct.
It's not enough.
There's a culture problem in Denver. There's a massive, massive culture problem in Denver. I think for so many seasons now, we have relied way too heavily on Nikola Jokic just as the centerpiece for everything that we do. We have relied on Nikola Jokic to be the guy for everything, whether it's the coach in any given moment, the point guard, if he's facilitating the offense, if he is the offense, if he's the coach, it really doesn't matter. We have, for the last few seasons, probably since they won a championship, we have put all of our eggs in the Nikola Jokic basket. And when he's the best player in the world, you can do that and typically get away with it. But outside of Nikola Jokic, that was about it in terms of the culture of Denver. The Denver Nuggets didn't have culture. Like, it was not like you felt their winning energy. You felt that in 2023. They were hard to stop. Impossible even. You could feel that energy when they were playing. You didn't feel that. And you haven't felt that here in a while. And I think a coach can set that tone a lot. And where we went wrong this year in particular, I think the reason this year hurts more than years past when we've fallen short is, one, it's a first round exit. It's humiliating. But two, this really was a roster, in my opinion, that could have gone all the way. I really believe that still. Even after watching what we just watched, I truly believe that this is a roster that could have gone all the way and simply did not play hard enough, and didn't seem to care enough to win. And that really is what I think frustrates most people, is the eye test was not pretty watching this Denver Nuggets team. It wasn't. You watched energy from them that was less than impressive. And yeah, the CB stuff. Oh my God. I gotta put tape over my mouth. I can't talk about CB right now. I'll just explode. I mean, it's hard for me. CB, to me, absolutely deserved his bag, right? I'm not going to take that from him. But when it costs you multiple players that outplayed him, right, for the majority of the season, it's really hard to justify the money that we coughed up for Christian Braun. It really, really is. I don't have much else to say. Do we have any footage, Mark?
It's loading in. I got some quotes from David Adelman too, if we want to hear from some of the things.
Why don't you just let us know what some of those quotes are talking about?
Let's hear. So he said, Coach said, this is pretty cookie cutter. Oh, it looks like we have a super chat.
Oh,
we got someone donating. I love
Westbrook on a minimum would have. Yeah. Don't even start with me. I can't. Don't you see I'm in mourning? Like, what like, please don't put salt in the wound here. My gosh. Okay, Adelman, what is Adelman talking about?
Probably the most basic quote you could imagine. He said, for it to end like this is really disappointing. Like, duh. You just got humiliated in a 6-game series against the T-Wolves bench. It's insane. It's literally insane. He said it was hard to make a lineup that made sense when the Wolves went to a starting 5 big lineup with Naz Reid, Rudy Gobert, Randall, all that stuff. But you have guys that you have the assets on your roster to make that work. That's what doesn't make sense to me.
It's just a matter of Adelman not having it figured out. I think everybody else could have figured it out just fine. It was Adelman.
Yeah.
Adelman was the one that was having a hard time. What else do we have comment-wise? I'm trying to read some of these, you guys. It was the national championship and NBA championship that got to CB. You know, it might have. CB needs to put in work this offseason majorly, in all caps. Majorly. Exactly. Like, just because there was no, in his opinion, appropriate lineup to match up with this Timberwolves team doesn't mean it didn't exist. It means he couldn't figure it out. He got outcoached. That's what that means. He simply got outcoached. I still cannot believe. Yeah, let's not even get into it. I just don't understand. I don't understand. Do we have any more quotes from Adelman?
No, that's it, I think, right now. We've got Jokic loading in right now. So if we want to hear from Nikola Jokic after that game, it's coming up quick.
How are we feeling, guys? Can we go to a wide shot, John? How are we feeling about Oh, we have something. Do we have something?
We have an ad read.
Oh, yeah. We do have something. We actually want to hear from our friends at Redbird. Yeah, good chicken. Speaking of nuggets, no, just kidding. We did have some chicken nuggets today. I was eating some chicken nuggets. But Redbird, shout out to our friends over at Redbird. We've got a little clip to roll for you, and then we will hopefully by that point have Nikola Jokic fired up and ready to go. So here is a little message for Redbird. Yay! Hey guys, I want to take a quick second to talk to you about our friends over at Redbird Farms. If chicken is on the menu for dinner this week, do yourself a favor and grab Redbird Farms. It's just better chicken. Redbird is one of those brands where once you try it, you actually notice the difference. Their chicken is vegetarian fed, and they use no antibiotics ever. It's clean, high-quality chicken you can feel good about serving. And you're not paying for water weight here. It's just real chicken. That's why a lot of chefs actually trust Redbird, and honestly, it shows when you cook it. It cooks better, it tastes better, and once you make the switch, it's tough to go back. Whether you're firing up the grill, doing wings for game day, or throwing something on the smoker, start with Redbird Farms chicken. Now, let's get back to the show. Shout out Liv with a little chicken read.
Shout out Liv. That's awesome.
Shouting yourself out is actually crazy, but at this point, guys, I'm trying to keep my head above water, okay? Because at this point, it's just feeling very, I don't know, catastrophic even. What's this? What are the comments saying? Get that back. Shout out Redbird. That's right. Shout out Redbird.
Jamal said that if he played better, they would have won the game. So some self-awareness from him. And I agree. I mean, what are you doing, Jamal? 12 points? Come on.
I mean, we were missing guys. The amount of missed shots, Mark, number one, that's problem number one. Number two, we saw this statistic on the television screen. It was 7 minutes and 41 or 42 seconds. One field goal scored in that time for Denver. You can't be the best offense in the regular season and do that in an elimination game. What? I mean, it just feels like we got bamboozled.
It does. Well, something interesting that I keep thinking about is Jamal Murray had his probably best regular season of his NBA career this year.
Yeah.
And he was an all-star. He was playing phenomenally all year long. And I think the narrative was, well, gee, we've seen regular season Jamal in the past, and then we've seen playoff Jamal.
Yeah.
What does this mean? Does this mean that playoff Jamal is going to hit a whole new level? Clearly
That's what we thought.
Clearly not, because he just had a worse performance. Do you think there was a mental component for him? Do you think that the weight of having the best regular season of his career translated to the fact that he wasn't able to carry that over into the postseason?
Yes, maybe. I think there's a lot of mental components in the postseason in general. More specifically, though, I just think this team lacked culture. I think this team lacked a winning culture where every person on this team felt the hunger to win. I think they had flashes of it where, you know what it actually felt like this year? It a little bit felt like this was the year of individual accolades. This was not a team year. It's like you had the sixth man in Tim Hardaway. You had Jamal, clutch player, all-star. You had Jokic, finalist for MVP. Just everyone had their own really good individual seasons. But then when it was time to put it all together, it didn't work. It just didn't work. Now, I do want to give credit. As much as this loss and being eliminated in the first round is a reflection of how poorly the Nuggets played, this also is a massive reflection of a hats-off moment to Minnesota. Without Anthony Edwards, without DiVincenzo, I mean, just to name a few, you had plenty of injuries on this roster during this series. They fought harder, they played harder, and they wanted it more than Denver. That's how it appeared to me. When I'm watching this series, the Timberwolves just outplayed Denver in almost every single way. And I think when you have that, you have to give credit where it's due. I can sit here all night and talk about all the things that Denver did wrong because there was plenty of them. And nope, that doesn't make me a hater. They just lost in the first round. It's the truth. They did a lot of things wrong. And the reality is the Timberwolves did a lot right. And they really do deserve the credit for that because I genuinely, I don't know. I think it still feels like a little bit of a dream that we're sitting here right now and the season is over. But the reality is it is over. And it's a tough pill to swallow, all things considered, when you have such impressive seasons from one of your bench guys, one of your point guard, your center. I mean, everybody had such a good year individually. And then when it was time to put the pieces together, it just was a nightmare. It was just a nightmare. It really was. So I got to get a little hats off moment to Minnesota. I mean, I'm wildly impressed by what they were able to do versus, unfortunately, my team. And now we root for the Avalanche, I guess.
I'll be curious to see what the Timberwolves can do in the next round. I mean, I don't know if I hope they win or.
This is a question mark.
Yeah.
People do ask this question. When your team, hold on, how do they phrase it? When your team gets eliminated, do you root for the team that eliminated your team or do you pray on their downfall? Because to be honest with you, it kind of goes both ways for me. Sometimes I'm like, oh, screw them. I do not want to see them do well. Not at all. And then other times I'm like, yeah, but it'll hurt a little less if this is the team that like goes all the way. I'll feel a little less bad about getting eliminated in the first round. What side are you guys on? Oh yeah. By the way, when I talk about those few teams that I don't root for, OKC's one of them. Can't do it. Literally can't do it. Oh. No, seriously.
Get out.
Oh, seriously,
Leave.
Get out. Get out. The Spurs are going to take care of them. So, guys, I actually think here's the deal. Nuggets Nation, when we sit here and we go, what do we do with ourselves for the next 2 months? I'm going to tell you what we do. We root for San Antonio. Is that okay? Is that fair?
I think so.
I feel
that's a team that I could stomach winning.
If I do think, the Wolves knocked us out. It's kind of tough. We're not really vibing with them in this current moment. I think we have to root for San Antonio. I think we have to bandwagon the Spurs a little bit for sure. I do. We've got 2 months now where are we just going to sit on our hands and not do anything? No, we still want to watch this sport of basketball. I think we've got to do a little, I think we got to root for the Spurs a little, guys. It certainly can't be OKC. We know this. If it's OKC, you'll see a crash out of me that will shock you. It will be so scary. I don't want OKC to do well. It's not happening. Please, no thank you. I would love to see the youngest DPOY ever get a championship.
I would love that.
And knock out OKC.
If not us, I'd love it be them.
I'm going to say it. We're going to have to bandwagon the Spurs, I think, moving forward in the West.
I think I agree.
Or we just full send it on the Knicks.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Okay. So
we've
got
two
options.
A generational performance today.
Didn't they?
It was 80-something to 30-something at halftime.
So check this out. While I'm sitting there watching the Knicks Hawks game, which was an absolute BTA, if you guys know, you know. I'm watching that game, Mark, and I had this thought to myself. It's like this Knicks Hawks BTA right here in the postseason. I was like, damn. Have we ever seen a team whoop up on someone like that? And maybe not that extreme, but I was like, oh, wait, the Knicks whooped up on us in the regular season in this exact same fashion. The Knicks scored an ungodly amount of points. We couldn't do an absolute thing against them. So now I'm sitting here going, was the Knicks performance tonight kind of all you needed to see to go, that's a contender? Are we going to get a Spurs-Knicks finals?
That would feed families.
That would feed families, I think.
That would feed families full of delicious, organic Redbird Farms chicken.
There it is.
That would feed families.
There it is. You guys see him trying to get a bag too? Look at him. He's jealous. He had FOMO. He was like, wait a minute. She just did an ad read. I want to do one now. I mean, my gosh. No, but I really think that right there, I think we have to bandwagon the Spurs in the West, and I think we have to root for the Knicks in the East.
I think you're right.
That feels good.
I kind of was riding with the Knicks to begin with. I've got a good friend who's a big Knicks fan. So
okay,
a little bit of a relationship there. But I mean, honestly,
is this a girlfriend?
No.
Oh,
I wish.
Wow, I was really excited, guys.
It's such a bummer.
If you're tuning in right now and you're in the Denver area and you're single and you like sports, his schedule is super packed. He may not have a ton of time for you, but also. His time just freed up a little bit.
It did.
He's actually now available on Saturday if you'd like to go on a date. Before we weren't sure. but now he's free on Saturday. So, Mark, I'm putting the
So
feelers
nice
out there.
of you. So nice
He's
of
a
you.
very hard worker. He's very kind. He's very responsible. So, just do with that what you will. Your Saturday's free. So I'm trying to get you booked.
A lot of my time is free now in the near future
I
because
know.
of this.
And guys, it really is saddening. It is. It's you know what I actually kept thinking during that game? I was like, I just don't know how many more games like this I can go through. Because the whole time I was just like, why are we here again? Why is this a close game? Why, with 4 minutes left, is this game so damn close? And we're missing free throws and the game. It's just like, I think my blood pressure and my heart and everything like needed to take a second and like not have to feel this way anymore. But like, this is a huge letdown. It's a huge letdown. It's very, very upsetting. And yeah, I hate it. I'm trying to read some of the comments. It looks like we've got some cuss bombs in the chat. People are getting a little angry, huh? Are the girls fighting? Are the girls in the chat fighting? What's happening here? Oh my gosh. I do think anyone but OKC. If you want to know my truth, okay, here it is. If it's not going to be the Nuggets, which it's not, we've now discovered. If it's not going to be Denver, it can't be OKC. That's all I do know. It's got to be anyone but OKC. Can't wait for the year OKC stops being a super team. Same. It's boring when one team hoards all the talent and ruins the league's parity. Yeah. And you know what's even more annoying? When they're like, yes, they're talented, but they're also just like theatrical. This is a bunch of it's like a Broadway show when they play basketball. I'm so over it. I know someone in the Denver area that's single. She's a great gal and a future pilot. Oh, listen here. That could be something. You travel a lot.
I would get that'd be awesome.
Look, you got him all nervous. This is good, guys. hit my inbox at Live Boots on Instagram. Hit my inbox so I can see some pictures and we can try to arrange something. I am his manager. I just appointed myself as that. He didn't know it. I just did it on the fly. And so I'll look into it.
Wouldn't it be funny if we looked back on this and we were like, the Nuggets got eliminated
but Mark met his wife.
But Mark met his wife because of it. In embarrassing fashion.
Guys,
the Nuggets season ended.
That's how it happens.
That is how it happens.
That is how it happens. And here's the deal. Someone's got to get a ring in Denver. It's not going to be the Denver Nuggets, so it better be Mark Robinson. That's all I'm saying, folks. So, yeah, you guys get in my inbox at Live Moods on IG.
There's 40,000 people watching this. There has to be one person.
There's got to be one of you out there that's looking, going, I like sports. And I like Mark. And I'm free on Saturday. It's going to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to happen so organically. You guys, any other like thoughts you guys are we still waiting on Jokić?
Yeah, we're having some internal communication going on as far as in terms of how we want to get it out.
And that's fine. And you know what? We don't necessarily the brilliant thing about it is, guys, Guerrilla Sports will have it posted in some capacity somewhere. It'll be on our YouTube, it'll be on our IG, it'll be on our X account, all the things. So if we can't play it for you here on the show, because we're kind of getting to the hour mark here. And I really just I don't know if I have much else to say, Mark.
No, I mean, this is just...
when you have to start playing Matchmaker Live, that's when you know you've run out of topics. I don't have much else to say. Here's what I want to say my final thoughts on all of this is I love the Nuggets. I respect this team. I think this team is beyond talented, and that's why this is such a letdown. The reason that this is so disappointing and frustrating even is because on paper, this team had more than enough to win a championship. This was a championship caliber roster. Now I'm getting retweeted by freezing cold takes because a tweet I put out into the universe saying that this team could go all the way is not aging so well at the moment as first round exits. And not just first round exits, but first round exits to a broken Timberwolves team that was out Anthony Edwards. It's a really tough pill to swallow. And there really is no cutesy, sugar-coated way to put it. That was a letdown, and that was embarrassing. And I think this front office is going to have some serious work to do in the offseason. We're wasting prime years with some really exceptionally talented NBA players. We're putting money in different places so much so that we're going to let some really talented guys walk and not be Denver Nuggets. It's a tough pill to swallow, but that's where we're at, unfortunately. And I think what hurts the most for a lot of Nuggets fans, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I can certainly speak for myself, is this was not a matter of being the less talented team. I think this was a matter of being the less hungry team. That's how it appeared. And I wish I could say I was wrong, but being a first round exit kind of proves that that's maybe probably true, because they weren't the lesser squad. They were the more talented roster. They were in a lot of different ways, and they fell short. And falling short requires some serious change. And I think it's probably going to start with the coach, and then it's going to be building pieces around who I would assume will be Nikola Jokić, who has declared he wants to be a Nugget for life. So they're going to continue to build around him, but you have to build around him with a little bit more of strategy. You have to. I mean, there's some serious decisions that need to be made, but you got to make them, because I just don't know if Nuggets fans can even handle dealing with this feeling again. It's really hard. It's hard when you have everything you think you need, right? You get depth, you address some of the offseason issues, you bring back guys from the championship team, and you fall short. This is the best offense in the regular season, and there was a period where for 7 minutes and 40 some odd seconds, you only scored one field goal. You can't have that in an elimination game. You just can't. You don't win games that way. You don't win games turning the ball over. You don't win games missing free throws late in the game with time expiring. And these are all issues the Denver Nuggets had the entire regular season. And when it was talked about, it was only immediately met with defense. Hey, be positive. Don't talk about them that way. That doesn't get us very far, as we're seeing. Accountability is a really good thing sometimes. You got to be accountable. You got to hold them accountable, right? And that starts with the coach. It really does. So, doing the whole, we got to be positive and always, sunshine, butterflies, and rainbows thing clearly didn't work for us, guys. It didn't, because we were a first round exit when we had no business being one.
And I just can't help but think about what happens now, what happens next, who leaves, what changes with the coaching staff, and most notably, what's the mental morale? What's the mindset come game one of the 2026-27 season? I feel like there's a sliver of a chance that it's like, we aren't doing this BS again. We're using that embarrassment as fuel to our fire, and we're going to blow through 4 rounds of the postseason and win a championship. Or it pains me to say this, and it doesn't feel like it's the case, because we have Nikola Jokić, who's probably going to be a Nugget for life, and we have guys like Jamal Murray who are going to be here for a while, and hopefully Christian Brown is just going through some weird stuff, and he's going to be back into his sort of he's going to be playing better next year. But I can't help but think, do we see a significant downward trend next year? Does production overall teeter off? Are we not even a top team in the West anymore? Do we, I know, right? Do we fall down to middle of the pack? It just terrifies me. Are we the Warriors after their dynasty, who have significantly?
No, because I'm not there yet declaring the Nuggets as a dynasty. I think Jokić himself is his own dynasty. And the fact that we couldn't capitalize off of that, I think, is what feels very disappointing. I'm not willing to go there yet with Denver as a whole, because I need to see more, frankly. And I feel like we run into the same roadblocks every postseason, where it just feels like they gas out. And not just from a physical standpoint, but emotionally and mentally, they just completely run out of steam. And I just think you have to have a certain aura about you to win a championship in this league. You do. And they don't have that aura right now. So it starts with a coach. I think they need a hard-ass coach that comes in there and is like, sit down and shut up. Sit down, shut up. Don't talk unless I'm speaking to you. Okay. When I say jump, you say how high. You didn't play defense. Why not? Do you know how to play defense? If not, let's fix it. They really need a coach to walk in there and just kind of say, I don't care what you've done. And I actually don't even care what you did in 2023. I don't care. We are in 2020. It'll be 6/7 now. Let's move on. We need a fresh new face that is playing no types of games. None of that hocus pocus nonsense. Matter of fact, I don't know. Go grab a Kevin Durant. Get a KD out here who hasn't quite aged out yet, still has that look in his eyes like he's ready to fight at any moment. Okay. Get a KD out here with a Steve Kerr. Oh, did I just solve the problems? Maybe.
That would be awesome.
Wouldn't it?
What do you think of this quote from Adelman? I want to dissect this.
Don't piss me off. Don't piss me off.
He said that group deserved better. You think he means from a coaching standpoint or just from losing in the first round?
Well,
and the
now
way
you
that
got me
they
feeling
did?
like an asshole. Well, crap. Oh, man, the empath in me doesn't like that one at all.
No.
Man, that one kills. I think that's probably exactly what he meant.
The coach part?
I think he's talking about himself. I mean, what else?
That
What
is
else
a
could
little
he
sad.
mean? What else could he mean? That team deserved better. In what, like, wouldn't you be talking about yourself as a coach if you said that? That now makes me sad.
It does. It makes me a little sad. It puts a blanket over the heat that we have going on right now, the frustration we have going on.
But it's still a heated blanket, though. So it's still hot in here.
It is still a
I'm
heated
still sweating.
blanket.
Listen, Adelman is a human. He's a human, and here's the deal. I actually want to make it clear as well. I don't necessarily think that Adelman is a bad coach. I think Adelman is really smart when it comes to the game of basketball. I just don't know if Adelman is a coach in the NBA. I don't know if Adelman is a coach for Denver. I think when you're coaching the best player in the universe, you have to have a certain swagger to you that resonates with Jokic on a different level than he's used to. And I just don't know if that's who Adelman is. I don't want to make it sound like Adelman is not a good coach. That doesn't feel fair to say. I just don't know if he is fit for the Denver Nuggets. And I think that became very, very obvious in this postseason, that it was like oil and water, in my opinion.
Yeah, because it was such a quick, abrupt change in the first place. Because what's interesting is Adelman's been around for so long. He's been with this organization forever. He was here when we won a championship, so his voice has been heard. He's made an impact on this team in certain ways. And then that abrupt change happened. And I have a really good question for you, but I'm going to finish my thought and then I'm going to ask you.
Okay.
That abrupt change happened, and we were kind of in this mindset of, well, he just became our head coach. We're just going to get through what we're getting through right now. And then next year is when we worry about if this is a really good fit. Now we're here next year. Now this is a really good fit. And it's just, it doesn't feel like, I mean, like I keep saying this, I sound like a broken record. It doesn't feel like he has all of the assets that he needs to be as a coach. Okay. Now I just thought I want to ask you this.
Okay.
If David Adelman was the head coach of the Nuggets all year last year, would the way the playoffs panned out have been acceptable to you? Because I think that going to 7 games with LA, whether we won or not, we went to 7 games with LA and they beat the doors off us a few times. And then we made mistakes in the OKC series. We were the hardest team that they had to play against. They barely beat us. We blew a lead in game 7. They went on to win a championship. And I feel like it was kind of, the narrative was, oh, well, it's okay because poor David Adelman got thrown into this position and he was playing with house money because he just became a head coach and everything got scrambled. It was a Chinese fire drill going on. If he was the head coach all year and that wasn't the case, was that an acceptable postseason last year?
The only reason I say yes, that last year's postseason was acceptable is because OKC was just that good. I genuinely just don't know. I don't know if anyone was really going to stop OKC, in my opinion. I think they were destined to be the champion last year, whether we liked it or not. So I think it was acceptable. Yeah, I think it was acceptable. I do want to say one last thing about Adelman. While I did just go like, oh, when I heard that he said like the team deserves better. What's also hard though, guys, is like, what a switch up. He went from being sassy pants McGee to now all of a sudden he's like, oh, sorry. It's like, no. Don't turn it now with this puppy dog eyes and make us feel all bad, because when we try to just have simple conversations with you, you got really defensive and you were kind of rude. So it's hard for me now that he's doing like the puppy dog thing. And I actually don't know if that's what he did, but it sounds like based on that comment that there was maybe a little like, oh, this is sad. It's like, of course it's sad. And we were trying to prevent this from happening, but you didn't want to hear it. You got upset with us when we talked about it. We talked about what needed to be fixed and changed and and he didn't want to hear a word of it.
And then he got really sassy the next game and like was interrupting reporters, and it's like the same thing as the Jokic thing. If we were all Serbian, we'd all be fired. Like, why is this coming now? Like, this could have saved the series in my opinion.
They should have tuned into my podcast a long time ago. I've been telling them what to fix. Shit. Forgive me. I'm pretty sure I said don't turn the ball over 16 times this year. I mean, my gosh. All you had to do was listen. No.
Here's a hot take. Liv Mood's next head coach of the Denver Nuggets.
No, please.
Liv Mood's named head coach of the
Listen.
Denver Nuggets. First female to ever coach an NBA team. All of a sudden, we got championships raining down in Denver. I can see it. I can see it right now.
You know, I did used to be a coach. I did used to be a coach of my former high school, actually. I coached the dance team there for 2 or 3 years after I graduated
I
from
also
TCU.
used to be a coach.
Did
So
you?
we've got that. I coached tennis for 3-4 years. Because I was a tennis player in high school. Almost played in college.
And did you have some offers?
Like, I could have gone and played D3 tennis in the middle of nowhere in Idaho. Like,
yeah, well,
I wasn't like this tennis prodigy. No.
Tennis is hard to be a prodigy
It's a
into.
difficult sport.
It's very difficult. But yeah, I used to be a coach, and I was very much the I was a hard ass coach for sure. I mean, if you were to ask any of my former dancers how they would classify me, they would definitely put me in the tough to please category. But also, they also knew when I was their coach that I would do anything for them, and I loved them with my whole being. I just really am a competitive person and wanted the best for my girls. And I had one guy on the team as well. So my girls and my guy, I wanted the best for them. So yeah, maybe the Nuggets could use a little Liv Mood's magic in the locker room. But here's the deal, guys. I don't sugarcoat things, as you know. I'm not great at that. And so it would be a culture shock for them, I think. But I will say, although Coach Malone to me didn't really sugarcoat stuff. He was pretty forthcoming, and he delivered the cold hard truth a lot. So it's not that they're unfamiliar with that. I just think they started to build like a friendship and relationship with Coach Malone where maybe his words were less scary as time went on. I don't know. Or it wasn't even that. They just started passing the coaching baton off to Jokić so much that there was like a displacement of authority, maybe? I don't know.
I'm dying to listen to this.
Liv Mood's for head coach, I guess. We'll see. I'll apply.
When you were just going on one of your awesome rants, I've been kind of, my computer became 1,000 degrees a few minutes ago, so I let her cool down a little bit.
Oh.
So I was looking for stuff on my phone, like looking for things, and there's now a clip of Michael Malone circulating around social media when they were in a similar spot in the past, and I didn't want to listen to it because I didn't want the audio to play here,
right.
But I'm dying to listen to it because the caption was, when the Nuggets were in the exact same situation, Malone said it how it needed to be said. So I'm dying to listen to it. I saved it and I want to listen to it. I'm curious.
Okay. Do you want to listen to it right now?
We can.
Is it play? Do we have it playable? Oh, it looks like we do have
Yes.
Adelman.
We do.
We have Adelman and Jokić.
One of the Jokić one looks like it's 30 seconds, so that's just one quick clip.
Let's rip the Band-Aid off and let's hear what Nikola Jokić has to say after the Nuggets season ended. Here it is.
There'll be a lot of kind of bigger picture talk in the coming days. Where do you feel like this team is, in that bigger picture, and how far away or not far away do you feel like you guys are from being, a championship contender?
I mean, we just lost in the first round, so I think we are far away.
Do you feel like changes, or like what type of change?
I mean, that's not my decision, to be honest. Definitely, if we're in Serbia, we will all get fired.
Yeah, guys. I mean, Jokić kind of said it how it was there. I mean, in my country, he'd be fired. And it's so hard because Jokic's emotions never really change to me. They're kind of always the same. So it's hard to get a good read on whether or not Jokić is truly that much more frustrated than normal. But we didn't like paraphrase that. Did we? We talked about that quote from Jokić earlier on the show, and it sounds like it was exactly as we thought it would be. It was not taken out of context. I mean, he pretty much said it as we kind of anticipated. Okay, I think we've got Adelman as well.
Yeah, let's hear from Adelman.
This series come down to, if you could crystallize it to a few headlines.
Yeah, I just think we did not handle the athleticism and the speed properly. The offensive rebound killed us in multiple games that we lost. And in a playoff game, if a team shoots 19 more shots than you, I've said this before in the series, they possess the ball. It felt like, we come back, we cut it to 3, and then we give them 2 or 3 shots at it each time down. And that's just not a recipe to win the game, and Nikola had, the 9 rebounds, Cam 8, but as a team, not good enough, not going to win you a playoff game. And sometimes it does come down to just small details like that. And that was their advantage, in this series. And, I think it's the main reason why they won the series.
David, just your overall emotions with the season coming to an end this way?
Yeah, in the short term, just complete disappointment. We went into the series with, belief we could win. I felt really good about the build-up to Game 1. And after Game 1, you felt good about the way we started Game 2, and obviously that fell apart. But then, it's hard to look at the whole thing in its totality right now, because right now it just sucks. You're not going to see the group together again. And, I told them in the locker room, it's one of the most unique groups I've been around, just because it's very rare to look in the locker room and literally say that each person in there won us a game this season. And I do think that's why those guys were so connected, because they felt like they were all really part of it. And that the fact that we got to 54 was not because of the greatness of Jokic or Jamal. It was the whole group, found a way to do that. And so for it to end like this is extremely disappointing. And, for me, I've said this and I mean it, my sensitivity level for myself is whatever. That group in there deserved better. And unfortunately, we got beat. We got beat by a team that took advantage of things that we struggled with sometimes during the season. And obviously in the 4 losses, just were glaring of why we lost those games.
The conversational shift, especially with Nicholas, still on the team, and how close this team still is to title contention. What is your belief in this mix and this group in the long term?
It's funny is and I know it just ended, but I do feel like I can't really give you a complete answer because it was an incomplete season. It felt like that throughout. It felt like survival, and then we had the winning streak at the end of the season, and so you finally feel like you found your footing. But obviously, things didn't go our way, just like them, just like Minnesota, where you lose key pieces. But it just, my first thought of the season and everything is really incomplete because the team that started the season obviously was very dominant. We thought we found something on both sides of the ball, and then it never seemed to, have a chance to get back to that. And that's not an excuse. That's just the bottom line. And that's why it's, if I'm going to sit here and say we're nowhere near where we want to be, I think that'd be an unnecessary answer right now because we have to look at the whole season and what we were when we were certain kinds of teams. And you have to look at our roster and see what's going to fit going forward for our best player.
What do you attribute Jamal's struggles tonight? I mean, Jaden McDaniels is a handful. We understand that, but not used to seeing Jamal play like this in a big game, in a big moment. What would you attribute his night to?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jaden did a good job, but, Jamal just had a tough night. He stuck with it mentally on the bench. I really believed he felt like the next run was coming. He had a great look to tie the game, in the 4th, off a great screen. I believe it was Tim that loosened him up. But yeah, it was a struggle. And, I've said this before, guys in the NBA, because of the individual greatness of these players, when they don't play well, it falls on their shoulders. And I understand that. But it also falls, on the whole team to help him find open shots and space to play in. And it just was a night where when he did get good looks, it didn't fall. And like I said, I really mean this. When they possess the ball that much and they shoot 19 more shots, that is less of an opportunity for your team to find rhythm. And to shoot only 75 shots in a 4-quarter game, it just isn't good enough unless you're going to shoot an absolutely crazy number. It's I feel for Jamal. We know it can be better. Everybody in here that's followed us and watched us, I'm sure they're going to kill Jamal Murray. You've all seen what he can do in these games, and tonight was not his night.
You said it falls on the team's shoulders as well. Does it fall on the staff's shoulders at all in terms of getting Jamal open and getting him good looks?
Yeah, no, and I think the actions we ran were good actions. We got him off the ball, and you demand fundamentals like screening, and you demand setups for people. And I did think it was interesting that we flowed very, very well with Tyus in the game. It gave us a secondary ball handler, which has been, it's been an issue against some of these teams like this. And sometimes you're asking too much from one player. If I'm coaching somebody and saying, you have the majority of the ball handling responsibilities, and you got to get yourself open, and you got to score, and you got to facilitate, there's nights it's tough. So I give them credit, how they played, and I know we can be better, and I know Jamal can be better.
David, there was a stretch they had Rudy, Nas, and Julius out there together, and it felt like they made the most of those minutes.
Yeah.
Was that something that caught you guys by surprise, or was it just kind of overwhelming in the moment?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard to find a lineup that made sense because you also had to think about scoring points. You know what I'm saying? So it was Cam had to guard one of the three. Cam's a small forward guarding power forwards. And on the flip side, Cam had a hell of a game. He was really good in this game. And I didn't want to go completely non-ball handling to try to deal with the bigs because then you're getting nothing on the other end and you're making Jamal do absolutely everything. The offensive rebound, it killed us. And I really thought late in the shot clock, we did a good job initially many times, and then we did not do a good enough job one-on-one, taking hits in the chest, taking guys physically on before their feet hit the paint. And when you have 6'10" guys like that, once they get into the paint, it makes it tough. And then it makes it tougher to get a defensive rebound because people are shrinking to help each other. They were effective. I thought we did a good job on Julius Randle. He's 6 for 17 again. Spence fought him. But McDaniels having a smaller player on him because of the big lineup, it obviously hurt us.
David, this season for you guys in so many ways seems like it was defined by injuries, and you still dealt with them in the series with Aaron and Peyton. They were also dealing with injuries. Is there something to the mindset of being down that they were able to tap into, being down so many guys? What do you make of that? Yeah,
I mean, I think the injury part for both teams was more about the matchups that follow it. If we're missing our bigs and the bigs that handle it for us, that's a problem for us. Obviously, they're missing their backcourt. And what I give, you got to give guys like Mike Conley credit for running the team and stepping in, Bones, and then obviously Shannon tonight. I thought the guys that stepped in that have not been in the rotation played really well, and it allowed them to keep playing big the way they've played, and we tried to play smaller to score points. In the end, the median is what it is, and they played better than we did.
David, when I think about, the season-ending losses you guys have had the last 3 years really since you won the championship, the offense that has kind of been your identity has been slowed down by really good defenses at key moments in those series. Is there anything structurally that you feel like you guys need to assess as far as some of the differences from what doesn't translate from the regular season in that offense to some of the key moments in these series?
No, it's a good question. I think those are things, though, that we'll sit down and talk about, and that's what I meant by it's not a cop-out. I think you have to look at the different formulas of how we played this year, what was most successful, and you have to really break it down more so into the types of teams that we struggled with. And what are the answers there to make things flow better for us? And I think that takes time because you can't just right now when you're frustrated and you're pissed off, I could say a million things, but that's not going to help us. And we have to sit down as a group and really take a deep dive into who we are, who we can be as a group, who's coming back that can help us do that. And I think that's the best way to go about it because right now it's going to be what it is. It's going to be a narrative. It's going to be all these things. You have to have real conversations about how to get better.
First full season as head coach, what lessons will you take from this season for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I think I learned something, every week, every month. I'll be honest. You learn how to coach in different ways, dealing with different things. That goes with not just the basketball, but with the players, daily. The film sessions, how you schedule things. And I know that's not basketball related, but it really does matter when it comes to winning, flow, formula, routine for players. There's things that I thought went really well and other things that I have to reconsider. And, in these jobs and any of these jobs, if you're not trying to get better, then you shouldn't be doing it. Very disappointing end of the season. I'm the head coach. I take responsibility for things that didn't go well here. And I think more importantly, as a group, unified, how can we come back next year and be better as a staff, as a team? You look at everything, the training staff, how we communicate. All those things matter, to find the best formula possible to move forward. in the moment, it's hard to answer that question completely. But I do think you have to take honest looks at yourself and everybody else in that room. Like I told them after the game, it's a summer. It's a chance to get better as a professional, as a person. And those things actually matter. And when you combine those things, you'll find success.
You sort of answered that, Coach, with you'd said earlier, your sensitivity to criticism doesn't matter, and you talked about we kind of all have to look at it. Is that part of a new part for you, the criticism that's going to fall on your shoulders when something like this happens, and how do you deal with that moving forward in your position?
Yeah, I mean, self-criticism to me is what matters, and the people I work with and work for, their opinions, because they're behind closed doors. They understand what the flow of the season was and what the feelings are. You can write many things, but if you're not there every day and see it, it's hard to know exactly what's going on with our group. And so I think there's those conversations, self-assessment, all those things are positives. And look, this is what this job is. It's a public job. It's an NBA team, a great NBA team. The fan base, the city, they want to win just like we do. It's communal. And in communal things, there's emotions and there's ups and downs. My only point with that was if we're going to talk about basketball things, I think those are great conversations. Things that are just kind of out there, stories to be talked about. I don't think that helps anybody, and that's why you stay away from that stuff. And I think you get better that way, as a group going forward.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
So we know that David Adelman was part of the problem, I think, for the majority of the season. It's unfortunate, but it's true. Want to play you a clip to kind of compare and contrast his energy, as you guys have seen over this series, after games 2 through 4, where he was defensive and argumentative and didn't want to hear anything negative and was kind of still making excuses for this Nuggets team. Here's a clip from Coach Malone when this Nuggets team was in a very similar, almost identical situation, back against the wall, going to potentially be eliminated. Here's how Coach Malone was responding to what was happening with the Denver Nuggets.
In the mirror and start coming to each respective game with the proper mindset and have some pride. I didn't think we played with any pride tonight.
How do you feel like they took that?
I don't really care. It's not my job to evaluate how they take things. My job is to be honest, and sometimes brutally honest. And tonight, it was a brutally honest message. And the guys that are full of shit won't hear it. They'll say coach is tripping. And the guys that maybe do really care will, because they're not going to go back and watch their minutes, because nobody watches their minutes. Nobody watches film. So we'll have to show them the film. And I said, if somebody disagrees with me, please speak up. And nobody said a word. So again, I'm not really concerned with how they took that message. My thing is being honest with how we just played. Just got blown out in LA. Come here against a team that is down 3, 4, 5 starters, and you mess around with the game. That's what happens, and that's exactly what happened tonight. And the same thing that's been bothering us of late that I talked about pregame, the turnovers, the rebounding, was even worse tonight. And I didn't think it could get any worse, but it did.
God, we bring that man back to me right now. I mean, that's exactly what this Nuggets team needs to hear in those moments. I miss Malone so damn bad. I don't even know how else to put it, but that is exactly what we're missing, is the accountability aspect from an authoritative figure like a coach that looks and says, I don't care if you want to hear it or not. You need to hear it. You're part of the problem. Like, woof, man, do we miss Malone out here? I think we do. Really quickly, guys, we're going to wrap things up right after we play these next few clips. We've got Jokic's post-game presser and we've got Jamal's. I think combined, it'll be about 10 minutes of footage, and then we will get out of your hair so you guys can go and enjoy your evening. So first, let's hear from Nikola Jokić. We did hear a little snippet of his post-game presser, but here it is in full. Here's Nikola Jokić.
Nikola, how would you sum up why Minnesota was able to win this series?
They were aggressive. They were pushing us out of spots. They rebound really well. I couldn't get guys open. I couldn't make screen. I couldn't make shot. So they were just better in basically in every aspect of the game. Like we put up the fight, but we didn't have it.
The rebounding in particular tonight, what made that so difficult?
I mean, just because Rudy is a big guy, and I mean not just him. I think everybody, literally everybody had offensive rebound for them who played. So, we just didn't do a good job with that. They had 19 offensive rebounds, and we turned the ball over a lot. So, they were messing up with us.
Nikola, you mentioned how you couldn't get guys open, you couldn't do this and that. How much blame do you feel for this season coming to an end tonight?
A lot. I needed to play better, and I must play better. Just I think I was getting in the rhythm from the third game, a little bit better in the rhythm, but I needed to play much better. First 3 games, and then just to get everybody involved, just to get the guys open, be aggressive, score. So, to give them credit, they were better this series, definitely.
There'll be a lot of kind of bigger picture talk in the coming days. Where do you feel like this team is, in that bigger picture, and how far away or not far away do you feel like you guys are from being, a championship contender?
I mean, we just lost in the first round, so I think we are far away. I mean, that's not from my decision, to be honest. Definitely, if we're in Serbia, we will all get fired.
This season, you guys were held under 100 points, I think, twice in 82 games. They did it to you guys 3 times in this series. What was it about their defense? I mean, you talked a little about the screens. I mean, they're without 3 of their better players, yet still they were able to hold you guys down. Was it a collective issue, or why do you think, when you look back at why you guys weren't able to score like you usually do offensively?
They're big, long. They're really good defenders. Whoever played for them, they know the principles. They were into our bodies. We couldn't get them. We were catching the ball far away from the basket. Basically the same thing I just answered to the guy.
You guys just weren't able to get Jamal free very much tonight. Jamal wasn't able to get himself free off the dribble really either. You guys have been through so many battles. Just what's your confidence in kind of the 2-man thing that you guys have going still after a first-round exit, when you guys have kind of gone backwards over the last couple of years?
I mean, I think we're still good. I think I think we created the looks. Sometimes you need to make it. I think miss doesn't make you a bad player, and misses doesn't make you a bad decision maker. So, it's a miss or make league. So we couldn't make any shots, especially from the 3, except a couple guys. So I'm confident in my Jamal 2-man game.
Nicole, I can get a sense from some of your answers, but just what is your level of disappointment?
I'm disappointed, yeah. I'm disappointed. I don't know what's the level of it.
How big a problem was not having Aaron Gordon and Peyton Watson? I mean, Aaron for most of the series, Peyton for the whole thing.
I mean, if like the guys who are not, we cannot think about if they missed a bunch of guys tonight and they still won it. So did we need them? Definitely, but if they are not here, we cannot think if.
Coach Adelman will get criticized because this is his first full year. Is that misplaced? Is that fair that he will be criticized?
No, it was nothing. It's not his fault that we cannot rebound. It's not his fault that we cannot catch the ball where we wanted. So there is nothing to blame to David Adelman. It was all us.
Nikola, sorry for the big picture question so soon after the loss, but you've said you want to spend the rest of your career with the Nuggets. Has anything about this season changed that outlook with your extension looming this offseason?
I still want to be Nuggets forever.
Is it safe to assume you will plan to sign that extension then when they offer it to you?
I still want to be Nuggets forever.
You guys, all season, it felt like you guys had a lot of confidence that, like, kind of if you could push through the injury stuff, that you guys had a championship level team in here. Like, did you still feel like that was the case coming into this series at least? Like, did you feel like that was the ceiling there?
I don't know, because Oklahoma missed probably the most players of everybody, and they're still number one and still dominating the league. So I hate those if situations.
Sure. So does that mean like to you then is the takeaway a lot like that this season was kind of just marred by a lot of that? Like was the injuries kind of the main attribute that you feel like kind of was too tough to overcome?
I mean, we had 54 wins. We were third in the West. Really, really talented, dangerous West. So I don't know, to be honest. I think we found a way to win some games, but I don't want to blame injuries for not making a second round in the playoffs.
Did this team have a leader this season? Did it need one? Do you look at it that way at all, like leadership from anyone?
I think we had a leader, yeah. Bunch of guys step up in multiple situations. Thank you, guys.
Well, on the bright side, Nikola Jokić wants to be a Nugget for life. That is one positive takeaway from this game, as well as this post-game presser. We do have a few short thoughts from Jamal Murray as well, who, as you guys know, had two different 30 pieces in this series, but kind of fell short a little offensively for this Nuggets team. And by no means am I alluding to the fact that he is the reason to blame, but I think he's probably going to be hard on himself. He usually is, and he's quite the leader for this team. So let's hear Jamal Murray's thoughts following the elimination of the Denver Nuggets, and then we will wrap things up and get out of here. Here's Jamal.
The emotions going through you as the season comes to an end this way?
I mean, not great, didn't have the game I wanted to have. Rough outing, so congrats to them. It was a good series. And this series is going to make us better. So,
Jamal, what, for you, was it about shot making or not being able to get the looks that you wanted throughout the course of this series?
It's just on me. I mean, I think I've made, and you guys have seen me made enough shots where I get into my spots and just unable to convert. So that's the frustrating part. They're playing good defense. All these guys are playing physical, trying to chase me around, and when I get the looks that I need, they don't go down. So that's the frustrating part, just not showing up when my team needed me most tonight, and felt like if I played a little better, we would have had that game. So it's just frustrating on my part. I'll take accountability for it. It was a rough night, and they move on. So
how do you kind of view this season in the bigger picture, and as it relates to the future?
Well, we just had so many injuries, man. It was, even up until this point, just guys coming in and just filling in and being professionals, and the ups and downs of the season. I feel like we just really weathered those storms really well during the season, and everybody had a part in that. So it took a lot of effort for the group to get here, and we're unable to get past this round. So it's tough. The way to put it is tough.
You've won a championship before. How far away does this group to you feel, or not far away right now?
Well, we just need to be better. Like I said, if I play a little better, I feel like we win the game. So, and I didn't. So I'll take accountability and yeah.
The two-man game with you and Jokić in the last 6-7 years, no one's done it better. But in the playoffs, these last couple of years, teams have defended it in a way where it's held you guys under 100 as a team. Do you still believe that can be the strength, the way you guys play, you two together, that still can be kind of the core of this offense as you guys move forward?
Of course.
Jamal, I think you just said this series is going to make you guys better. How does that kind of manifest itself? How does it show
Well,
itself?
if you saw the interviews, all of them were excited to play us. They got up to play us. They enjoyed playing us, and we have to match that. We have to feel the same way about them, and I'm sure we will next year. So they took this matchup, could say, kind of personal, and wanted it really bad, and we got to want it more. And I got respect for those guys. You know, they play hard, they play physical, and they beat us. So it's just rough. You know, you don't have the game that you want to have, and then you gotta talk about X's and O's and this and that. But it just comes down to playing better, making shots, and just matching that intensity, especially on the road. So it was a rough day.
Jamal, what was it like playing for David Adelman for his first full season as a head coach?
I mean, it's amazing. He's still figuring it out and still getting his feet with all the different adjustments and injuries and managing emotions and all that stuff. I think it's a hard job. You got a lot of different personalities you got to think about and game time decisions and possession by possession. So it was a great season for him, especially all that we went through. I just wish I could be better for my team tonight and get the win.
Jamal, does a team need like a clear-cut leader? Is that something in your mind a team needs, and did this team have one?
We have leaders.
Okay.
I just didn't show up tonight. That's why it's on me. The leaders got to show up. So if you saw the game that there was no leaders, then it's on me.
I think all in all, we all share the same feeling here, which is just defeat, sadness. We're bummed. We're embarrassed. We're disappointed. I mean, what we're feeling, I would say you can multiply that by 10, and that's how the Denver Nuggets are feeling right now, obviously, right? It's hard to point the finger at one particular person or one situation. And yes, the Nuggets were very injured, but, so were the Timberwolves in the most important games, right? And really what it boils down to is there wasn't enough fight by the Denver Nuggets to win these games. So it is what it is. We move on. Hopefully the front office starts making some decisions and making some changes and moving some pieces around to try to continue to build towards another championship year for Denver. So here's to hoping. And I am officially signing off on the Denver Nuggets postseason. It saddens me to say so, but we will continue to have mood swing shows where we cover the postseason for the NBA, as well as prepare ourselves mentally for what is to come for the following season, as well as for the NFL. You name it, we're covering it here at Guerrilla Sports. So I'm signing off for a Mood Swings episode with Liv Moods. And I was joined by Mark Robinson. He's now back to work editing clips for us, getting everything up. If you missed all the post-game pressers that we played on the show, they're available on the Guerrilla Sports YouTube page, as well as our X accounts, as well as our Instagram. Make sure you're following Guerrilla Sports on all things social. I am Liv Moods, signing off for the final episode of the Denver Nuggets season. Sad, but we will be back, of course, with more coverage of the NBA season and everything else in between. I love you guys so much. We are signing off. Thank you for tuning in. This is also presented by Landmark Lincoln. Shout out to our friends over at Landmark Lincoln. Make sure you head to their location off of Bellevue and Broadway to figure out why they have been the #1 Lincoln dealer in Colorado for as long as they have. Signing off for now, Liv Moods. Go Nuggets, always. Nothing but love. And we'll see you guys very, very soon.